You already know how this episode is starting.
Oh, suck that tiger dick, bitches.
Yeah, welcome back to another episode of Diamond Deck Discussions Unfiltered. I'm Coach Jace, that's Coach Robin. And look, you might be sitting here wondering kind of a little bit, why is Coach Jason black? Why is Coach Robin Sun Devils? I don't have an answer for Coach Rob, but I do have an answer for me.
I'm lazy.
Coach Jace is in black because I'm assuming that's what LSU fans did last night, was black out after that insane win. It's probably what Arkansas fans did too. So to celebrate with them and not be in the Omaha area, being down here in South Louisiana.
Oh shit, that's my wife. It's okay. I'll hit her with a message.
Thought we just started because we are on a little bit of a time crunch here. But being down in South Louisiana, not in Omaha with them, wanted to celebrate somewhat of how I could. So decided to go black today. Still got the LSU hat on. But holy shit, what a game. The entertainment from start to finish, the absolute pitching duel that we had from start to sixth inning was unbelievable last night. And we're going to give flowers to both teams. I don't know how to say that other dude's name. It's very long, very confusing.
Who?
For Arkansas, the lefty that threw. Beetle Shields or
something. Oh,
Beetlejuice.
Yes, yeah. Beetlejuice.
Beetle Shields or something like that. That's how you say his name. I'm not completely sure.
I don't fucking know at this point.
But Coach Rob, what a game. Holy smokes. I mean, if you didn't watch any of the game and tuned in from 7, 8, 9 in the seventh inning, eighth inning, ninth inning, my goodness, it felt like a lifetime to get through those 3 innings.
I'm just adjusting shit on the fly. Remember how you said your mic was a little low?
Yeah.
I remember
we turned to DB levels.
Yeah, I had to turn it back up.
Yeah.
So you're good.
I hear us now. We're good to go.
You're good.
Like we've been saying, we got some stuff happening on the next episode. So we've been messing with controls here, been messing with a third mic. If that don't give it away, we will have a special guest. We won't tell you who it is. You'll have to tune in with us, and we are super excited for this to happen. But for now, Coach, we are going to be all focused on LSU beating Arkansas again. Dave Van Horn cannot – the curse. I mean, the curse is real for him.
This is almost like the Bambino curse at this point.
I don't know what's going on and why they can't figure it out.
He'll win one before he retires.
And
I think before he calls it quits, he'll win one.
That'll probably be when he calls it quits.
Yeah.
And then we'll focus on the matchup starting Saturday night, LSU versus Coastal. If you've listened to me all year long, you know these are 2 of the 3 teams I wanted to play for growing up. Cal State Fullerton, LSU, Coastal Carolina. 3 teams I always dreamt about playing for. In fact, today we had a guy coming off and he's like, man, who the fuck is Coastal? I've never even heard of them. And they looked at me and they're like, Jace, we know you know baseball. Have you ever heard of Coastal? I said, yeah. That was one of the 3 schools my entire life that I wanted to go play for.
Do they not watch baseball?
I don't know.
Do they not remember 2016?
Exactly. And speaking of 2016, let's just talk about it real quick. Revenge season is on its way. Jay Johnson, one out away from winning the College World Series at Arizona, loses to Coastal. How did Coastal get there? They come to Baton Rouge, beat the Tigers.
Maneri was coaching.
It. But Jay was at Arizona. That's who they beat in championship.
Yes,
is what correct. I said. One out away from winning it.
Yes.
But who did they come play?
Yeah.
LSU beat us. We've talked about that one before here.
So I think it's a revenge thing for LSU as well as Jay Johnson on both ends, right? Mm-hmm. So, man, look, I will say this. The 7th inning of this LSU-Arkansas game, right? So 7th inning, I had high blood pressure. Okay.
You text me high blood pressure.
I said heart rate is up, right, at this point, right? So high blood pressure in the 7th. The 8th put my heart in the AFib, right? And then the 9th shocked it back. They brought me back to life. Okay, this was a game all throughout. Shout out to Zach Cohen for doing something that we didn't necessarily It's something that I've wanted all year. I've wanted him to be a starter all year. He does great out of the pen. Don't get me wrong, but he was a starter at Wofford. He was their ace at Wofford.
10-2,
Right? A dog. Right?
3.35
Comes to
ERA or something
LSU,
like that.
you think he's got to be in the weekend rotation. He's got to be, and he does not get in the rotation.
Mm-hmm.
He gets one start late, goes an inning and a third or inning and 2/3. It was something atrocious like that. And I thought he needed he needed kind of like a comeback game. Sure enough, goes 5 1/3 and just fucking throws one run. I mean, he allowed one on a home run, but that was the only mistake he made.
Yeah.
The only mistake he made all game.
It was such a beautiful outing from him. I mean,
Yes.
you're talking about a guy in his last two
He needed
outings.
that. He needed it for sure.
In his last two outings, a combined 3 innings pitched, a combined 7 hits, and a combined 7 runs. In his last 2 outings for LSU against South Carolina, at Carolina, and then Little Rock at home, where we had to pull him in the second inning because we were down 4-0.
Right.
You know? And he comes out in this game, and I'm texting Blake, and I'm like, dude, look, 4 innings is a great. Like, if Zach gives us 4, we're in a great position. 5 1/3 later.
Yeah.
And it was so old school, early in the year Zach game, right? He kind of leaned on the slider a little bit more, but you're talking about a guy, and look, they kept talking about it during the game. When you can throw a righty a changeup that starts off the plate, comes back down, like essentially it's not a backdoor. Well, it is a backdoor changeup, but typically righties are burying changeups to righties in the back leg.
Yeah.
Right.
We need a baseball up here so that whenever we start talking about pitches, we can kind of like, hey, it's supposed to do this, do that. We can kind of demonstrate, right? There's a baseball right there. It's my first home run ball ever.
Yeah, I'll bring a pearl next time.
I mean, that one has some wear and tear on it.
Yeah,
But
a little bit.
that's from 8th grade.
Yeah, a little bit wear and tear.
That ball is 15 years old.
Yeah,
almost 16. It's crazy. It's crazy to think that a baseball lasts that long. If you don't use it.
If you don't use it, it'll probably last a little bit longer. But dude, I mean, what a solid performance. And he was sitting 92 with run. I mean, 22, 23, 24 inches on a fastball. I mean, even Victoria was sitting next to me and she's like, how much that ball moved? And it's 92. You got less than a blink of an eye to make your mind up. Like,
look, you talk about your old lady. Mine got on my ass last night. All right. And it's because, so look, I think I've already said this one time. I've already said that what she wrote in her vows, right?
Yeah,
she promises to watch more baseball with me and at least act like she enjoys it, right?
Yeah.
Buddy, I've turned her into a monster. Fucking dude, it's the 9th inning. Okay. And I think it's top of the 9th. And I wish I had the video. It's on my phone actually, of us going batshit crazy in the living room last night. But dude, literally, so Aloy gets a ground ball, right? In the
you want to just start with the 9th inning right now?
No. But we're gonna talk about it. But Aloy gets the ground ball and goes third.
Yeah.
Right? The play that should have been made. And we'll get into depth with what it was. And she goes, why wouldn't he just go to second right there? And I looked at her and I'm thinking, fuck, she is right. Why wouldn't he just go to second right there? I was like, good shit, babe. So I get on my phone.
And you got 4 texts from me.
Well, yeah. And I started looking at my text, started looking at Facebook, seeing kind of what people are saying. And I hear, hey, it's in the fucking 9th. Get off your fucking phone. And I went, oh, shit. Dude, I've turned her into a fucking monster.
Hey, that's awesome, man.
Buddy, oh my goodness. She's going nuts over this. And she loves it. She started singing the Wheels on the Bus last night because apparently in 2023, when I was in Omaha, she was with her parents and they were singing Wheels on the Bus. Like legit, the kid song. The wheels on the bus go round and round. That shit. And
like I wanted to sing after the Little Rock series.
Yeah.
Send them on back.
Yeah. And they were singing that at her parents' house and taking tequila shots. And she was like, where's the tequila? I was like, we don't have tequila, baby. It's a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday. We don't have tequila. Now, while I have been absolutely shithoused on a weekday, don't recommend it. But she was like wanting to take tequila shots, dude. She was like, we're in fucking Omaha, dude, going crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love this woman. I love this woman to death. Dude, she was, I mean, all in it.
That's
All in it.
awesome.
Shout out to my wife for being such a bad motherfucker. She really is, dude.
Dude, I was standing up the whole night thing. I was like, I can't sit.
Dude.
Victoria looked at me, his if you haven't figured out now, his wife, my fiance, are both named Victoria.
Yeah.
So Victoria's looking at me, she's like,
mine's A, his is B.
she's like, why don't you sit down? I'm like, I can't. I cannot sit right now. It is impossible for me to sit down and not just be jittery and shaky, picking my fingers, doing something to occupy myself.
Dude,
Because no way.
When we ended up tying the game up, and like I said, we'll get into all this here in a second. But we ended up tying the game up. She goes, Where were you standing at? Where were you standing at? Right there. Okay, you stay right the fuck there. You don't move. Dude, she's superstitious as a motherfucker. It's crazy.
Dude, it's so crazy how baseball players are, and obviously she's not one, but like I'm not a superstitious person.
No,
like,
she fucking married him.
I don't believe in the whole, see a black cat at night, whatever, years of bad luck, break glass, however many years bad, like
walk under a ladder. I don't give a fuck about that.
Spill salt, whatever.
Right.
I don't believe in any of that.
I'll do like
stuff.
Dumb and Dumber, throw the whole salt shaker in my fucking rhino.
However, when it comes to a baseball and playing the game, if I tied my left shoe first and went 4 for 5, and the next day I tied my right shoe first and went 0 for 5, you better believe the next game I'm tying my left shoe first.
Did you hear?
Like
you heard the Jeter story, right?
Oh yeah.
With the golden thong.
Yeah. It's a great story.
It's a great story. If for those of you who haven't heard, I'm gonna tell it real quick, and then we'll move on. The Derek Jeter story. He was in a slump. He was in a really bad slump. And I forget who it was that was in his locker next to him. That was in the locker next to him, but he had a golden thong hung up in his locker and said, "Hey man, look, I know you're in a slump. I normally, when I'm in a slump, I wear it. It brings me back down to earth, and I have a really good game." And for games and games, Jeter looked at it and he was like, "Nah, I can't," and was still in the slump. Finally, he said, "Fuck it," and he put it over his jockstrap and wore it that game and went fucking 4 for 4 with a home run, a double. Like,
oh yeah, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, it's insane the type of shit that happens, but it's all mental. It's all mental. And speaking of mental, we'll look, this LSU Arkansas game fucked with our mental stability, and it fucked with the team, these players' mental stability for 9 innings, but most importantly, the 9th inning. Or was it? Yeah, it was.
Well, it was the night that we walked off. But I mean, look, when you
what was the Aloy play?
The
8th? Yeah, the 9th. That's what I'm saying.
But it's not the only one. And see, that's the thing that bothers me the most. And look, Aloy is going to be in the bigs one day. Like, he is a star. That is
a big leaguer.
Yes, 100% a big leaguer. But earlier in the game, remember he had a ball. Pearson was up. And he had a ball hit to him, and he just kind of stayed back on it. He was slow getting it to second. Pearson beat the ball out to first base. Should have been routine double play. Got him off the field. They didn't turn it.
It was almost like he wanted to go home.
And dude, I tell you, look, it's just one of those things where, turning a double play in the middle of the infield is all about what do you do first? Like, yes, these coaches and everybody preaches, you got to think a game ahead or pitch ahead. You got to figure out balls hit to me before catcher even throws ball back to pitcher. The ball's hit to me. What am I doing? If I'm Aloy there, you got first and second, right? With one out or nobody out. If the ball's hit to me, if it takes me to my right, I'll go to third, at me to my left, go to short, double play kind of deal, right? Actually, it was one out because they could have ended the game with that. And you don't do it, and it comes back to just bite you, and you just did it earlier in the game. And look, we saw Danny Dickinson for LSU do the exact same thing at second. Got a ball hit right to him, routine double play. He has his throwing hand way out here. Dude. His glove hand is on the opposite side. He's fielding it off the left leg, which is just odd unless you're going to 360 something, which he didn't do. Fields it off the left leg. Left leg steps over instead of just dropping down to a knee, quick pump. Got to bring throwing hand all the way back to this side. Left leg steps over right leg, and he just kind of shot puts it essentially, and you don't turn a double play. Dude, I don't know what it was about the defensive alignments last night, but nothing looked natural and nothing looked normal.
Well, you saw that. So obviously, you just talked about that Daniel Dickinson play. Look, it's everyone who's played middle infield knows when you practice certain double plays and practice them as quick as possible because especially with speed nowadays, like everybody's working on two things. Pitching wise, they're working on velocity.
Yep.
And speed is still integral part of this game. Speed kills.
Speed kills.
Chandler Simpson.
Yeah.
Chandler Simpson can literally
hits a single, it's automatic triple.
Yeah, he'll hit it off the knob of a fucking bat like he's playing pool. Go down third base line and he's safe at second already.
I watched him hit a 3-hopper to the second baseman. And he beat it out.
Routine ground ball.
Routine ground ball. Second baseman did not have to.
You got to have quick hands. And anybody who's ever played second base at a competitive level knows that you got to run on second. Hey, I got a ground ball here. I'm doing one of two things. I'm either fielding it. If it's to my left or right at me, I'm fielding it. And a jump and a throw. It's either a field, a jump, a throw. Like a jump, set your feet towards your target. Or it's a here out.
Yeah.
Right? It's a let me get my momentum going towards second. I'm going field and it's out my glove. And it's out in my hand. Even if it's hit right to me, I'm fielding it. And as soon as I come up, I'm really not even coming up. I'm coming up and separating my hands and tossing it. I'm doing it like a pitch, right? Well,
the only third option is the spin. So ball's off to the side that you got to reach for. Spin.
Right, that's right. But at that point, you're going one.
Yeah, unless you have Luis Hernandez on first.
No, unless you have like Stanfield at first, and you want to get that you want to get the speed off the bases.
Yeah,
right. That's all the time where that's where your shortstop becomes a first baseman.
Yeah,
right.
You're not worried about turning two,
but it's here a jump. And your body's square up to second base,
right?
Or it's a here pitch, and if it's not
little backhand pitch,
if it's not a here jump, it's a here and just turn your upper half. And when you turn your upper half, you're here, and you become you do essentially pitching drills where you're here,
yeah,
right. And that didn't happen.
No.
Dickinson, who's looked smooth all fucking year, looked probably the most uncoordinated I've ever seen in a human being.
It was very uncoordinated. Dude, I love Danny, but my goodness, that was super uncoordinated.
It was like teaching a 3-year-old how to throw. And it was like, hey bud, you got to step with the front foot. And they're like, and do one of those. Like it wasn't coordinated at all. It wasn't Daniel Dickinson.
Exactly. I was about to say the exact same thing. It was not Danny.
And that's it. So let's fast forward.
Let's just go straight to the 6th inning.
Okay, so that's what I'm looking at too.
Yeah,
Arkansas is up 1-0 because of a home run, and it was the only mistake that Zach Cohen made.
Yep.
Right. So, man, you go bottom 6, 1-0.
Beetle Shields is still in. Beetle Shees something.
Oh,
He's still in.
Bottom shits. I don't know. Where the fuck does
Beetlejuice?
Yeah, Beetlejuice. This motherfucker's in the game still. Okay. Ethan Fry doubles to left.
Yeah.
Milam's hit by pitch.
Yep.
Right. So now you got runners on first and second with nobody out.
And what do?
And you bring in
your guy.
Your guy out the pen.
Yes. Started first Friday night of the year.
Arguably the number 3 guy on this whole pitching staff.
Yeah, he started Friday night game 1.
Right.
Like he was their Friday night guy. It didn't work out. He had an inflated ERA, looked really bad. But then you put him in the pen, and he's been Chase Shores like in the pen.
Yeah.
Gabe Gackle.
He's essentially Shores.
He came in versus LSU in the first game when Zach Root didn't get out second inning, and he shoved against LSU for 6.
Still should have never been pulled.
Yes, shoved against LSU for 6.
Yeah.
Didn't give up a run. Comes in right here, first and second, nobody out.
And Hernandez is up. He goes ahead, sag bunt to the pitcher, which, I think it was, I want to say it was down the third base line. I want to say it was, but I don't know. But it says the pitcher fields it, throws the first, gets the first out, right?
This is where he should have ran the first baseman over because Bassinger comes in, he redirects, gets into the baseline. I would have reviewed this for interference, to be honest with you.
I'm surprised they didn't.
Yeah.
But at the time,
and I know they didn't hit each other in the baseline, but he did come into the baseline and ran the baseline all the way back to first, caught the ball about a half step before first base, touches the bag about a half step before Luis gets there, and Luis kind of just throws the arms out and shoves him and then says something on the way back, and the umpire says, stop, don't do that. Shut the fuck up,
sit down,
dumbass.
pussy. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but gets the out. Yeah, it was down third baseline.
Okay. So then Jared Jones comes out and does what Jared Jones kind of does best, kind of doesn't best. And I think at this point, that's when I texted you. I said, hey, man, look.
Over with it.
I'm done with Jared Jones. He goes golden sombrero or platinum sombrero against Arkansas in game 1. And he just
then went crazy in game 2 versus UCLA.
Yeah, against UCLA. Good. Thank you, UCLA, for participating in the College World Series. Go home. Go home to California. Yeah, there's a bunch of shit going on over there. Have fun. And then they intentionally walked Pearson to have the bases loaded with 2 outs.
Thinking that they were going to get Stanfield.
Thinking they get Stanfield, which
righty on righty is what the thought was. Josh Pearson, we know, has a clutch gene. Arkansas knows he's got the clutch gene. He's done it against them many a times.
He has the clutch gene in Omaha, too.
And he's got it in Omaha. So you put him on.
Right.
You had an open base. You load the bags up. You think you're getting Chris Stanfield, which righty on righty versus Gackle. He didn't do nothing against him last time in game 1 of the World Series. So this is the matchup that they wanted.
And then, okay,
however,
I did just want to point out that ESPN has J Brown now instead of H Brown.
Yeah, they got
you remember that? They got it right now.
Yeah.
Okay, and Mr. Jake Brown comes up, singles to left center, which, dude, the ball has just been dying in Charles Schwab Stadium.
Dude, dying. Oh
you think he'd fucking belted that, and it lands in front of both outfielders.
Yeah.
And then they showed the camera later on in the game of where the outfielders are playing.
Well, for LSU though.
Right. No, outfielders for Arkansas. They put the camera on them. I think it was right before we walked it off. But it was the fucking, I want to say Jake was up again, and it was a lefty up because the right fielder was at the line of the warning track.
It wasn't gonna be Jake. It would have been Milam. Why do I keep saying that? Milam.
I know why you keep saying it. It's
okay,
me
bud. Too.
But so, all right. So look, Jake Brown single
hits after Jared Jones.
He singles to left center, and it was a beauty. We take the lead 2-1, and
you run the right play. You run the right. We've done it all year long. It's not out of Jay Johnson style to do this. First and third, 2 outs, delayed steal where you hope he throws down and you get caught in a rundown. It worked out perfectly.
It does work. What happened was Jake Brown slipped going back to first.
Yep.
Should he have stopped
a half step sooner?
Yes.
100%. Yep. He went just a little too far.
In my opinion, when you see the throw, you start to break down.
But what I do have for Jake Brown in defense of him, catcher gets ball.
Catcher.
That one got deep down there.
Hit that one out, bud.
Catcher gets ball and kind of like shuffles towards second, then looks at third, then looks back to second and throws.
Yeah.
So maybe Jake saw him look, and that's when he slowed up, and then saw him look third, and he tried to step on the gas again to just get to second, thinking he's not going to throw.
Yeah.
And then he throws, and he's like, oh, fuck, got to hit the brakes now. And unfortunately, foot just slides a little bit, and you end up getting caught right there.
And hell of a play by the shortstop, too.
Great play.
It was
second baseman.
It was a second baseman that covered the bag on that?
Yeah, Kojal.
Okay.
Yep.
So hell of a play by the second baseman to be able to catch up to him because Jake Brown can run.
Yeah.
You win at all costs and you dove and you got him.
Yep.
All right. So Danny Dix, he gets that bat taken from him. Well, not necessarily because he comes up in the very next inning.
Yeah.
But look, Arkansas top 7, they don't score a run. Chase Shores comes in and fucking
oh my God.
Goes punch. Let's go hit, boys.
Dude, just strikeout looking, strikeout swinging, 8 pitches.
Yeah. Yeah. So then you go, Dickinson hits a double to left field.
Ugh,
right?
Brutal inning here for LSU.
Braswell. We gotta get the bunt down. You're struggling, bud.
If you're gonna hit 209, we got a bunt.
I am very high on Michael Braswell III. I enjoy watching him play. He had 16 errors at shortstop last year. He has 3 this year at third base. Dude is an animal. He picked the ball last night that 100%. I don't think half of the third basemen in D1 are athletic enough to pick.
That was tough.
It was a tough pick. He picks it. He gets the guy out at first. It was crazy. It was a hell of a play. This is what happens when you have a shortstop playing third base.
Yeah.
You have a shortstop at third. You have a shortstop at second. You have a shortstop at shortstop.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like, you have these athletes all over the field. Right now, Braswell needs to get it done at the plate, and he needs to put on playoff Braswell from last year. And to me, this is Jordan Thompson. This is the Jordan Thompson. Whenever we were in Omaha, we won, and he went over and got his first hit in the finals. And dude, everybody fucking cheered him. And I hope everybody is behind this guy. But he needs to be able to get it done at the plate, whether it be fucking getting a base hit or laying a bunt down. Laying a bunt down is one of the easiest things to do, right? It's very hard to do, but it is one of the easier things to do.
When you do it the right way, it's very easy to do. I was a big bunter because I had speed back in my heyday.
I never had speed, so
I loved bunting.
Aiden loved it.
It was fantastic. I loved bunting. And as a coach, you know just as well as I do, I love bunting.
If I get one more fucking text from you that says bunt,
I told a team one time we were up so big on a team in Port Allen. I can remember this. I looked at the coach and said, "I'm bunting until you get me out." He was like, "No, you're not." Okay. Dude, I bunted 8 times before they got 3 outs. We scored 4.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I'm bunting. I don't know what to tell you. I told you that I'm bunting.
Fuck it. Yeah. Infield in.
We're playing in a state championship game, semifinal game.
Yep.
I was down. Or was that when you were with me?
Nope.
Okay. We were, I don't know.
State championship whenever we were coaching together?
We might have made it to the semifinal.
No. No, we didn't. I don't know if you remember this, but we left Lafayette, I believe, and drove straight to. No, you drove straight to Orange Beach.
I did.
Yeah, you literally left Lafayette for the state championship.
Yeah,
after we lost out.
Yeah,
on a bullshit play at home.
A horrible call.
A horrible call.
Yeah, that was the quarterfinal game. That would have put us in the semis.
Right.
But point being, dude. I'm a full believer in bunting wins baseball games. LSU is a full believer in bunting wins baseball games.
Jay's a full believer. We need runs. We need runs. We need run support. We need insurance runs. We need runs to win this fucking game.
That's it.
You can't win this game with 2 runs, and Jay knows that.
Yeah,
and which is why you got a struggling Braswell. So why not let him lay one down? Well, he fucking struggles to lay one down. He pops this shit up. They catch it to the catcher.
Did you see what it was though? Like he squared fully as he does.
He dropped it.
Dude, his bat just went at a vertical angle.
Hey, bud, he was trying to go first baseline.
And the one thing that you teach
instead
is
of going
don't move your bat. Move your knees. You go up and down with your knees.
You don't move the hand.
You don't move the bat angle.
You don't move the hand on the barrel. Right? So you don't go up and down, right? And you take this hand on the handle.
But how do you get up and down?
Knees. Yeah, knees and eye level. You really want to get your eyes. Sure. You almost want to get your eyes behind it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But as far as moving, the only thing you move with your hands is you move your left hand if you're right-handed, and you go back to front to angle it towards first and third.
Yes.
Right. You never want to bunt it back to a pitcher. You know, and it's just there's certain rules of the bunt, and if you're 10 years old, you should know that.
Yeah.
Right.
Look, it was just poor execution. Braswell has gotten the bunt down all year long.
What was very poor execution was Curiel fucking striking out looking.
Yeah, on a fastball right down the middle.
That doesn't happen. We need to get the bat off our fucking shoulder.
Yeah, fastball right down the middle.
You cannot be Coastal Carolina with the bat on your shoulder.
No.
And then Ethan Fry strikes out swinging. So that ruins the Danny Dix double.
Yep.
Right. So now you go top 8.
Yeah.
Okay. And we get a single to left.
Not we, they.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. In the top of the 8th, there's a single to left. Fielder's choice. They get the out at second. So now you got 1 out, runner on first. Wiki Waloy, I believe is his fucking name. He singles, right? So little. I want to say a blooper.
That was the Danny Dix play right there.
That was
the Danny Dix play at second.
Okay, so ground ball to second base.
Yeah.
Right? And Danny Dix goes full fucking, and throws one stepping with his right foot. Yeah, uncoordinated as fuck.
Yeah.
And he ends up going. I don't get it there. Would we have gotten out at first? I don't think so. I don't know, because I think there was a leadoff guy. Because if we Lloyd is next,
yeah.
So
or Davalon's
he's got some speed, but
yeah,
he's got some speed. So that makes sense. Don't know if we would have got the out at first, but it would have been a hell of a try if Danny just fucking feels and just turns and throws. Then we get a hit by pitch. Right now we got fucking bases juiced.
Yep.
Okay.
And here comes what should have been another double play ball.
Yeah. So we get a ground ball to
Braz.
And he does what he should. He feels it. Boom, boom. Goes second. And Daniel just he threw a good throw.
Yeah.
Jared Jones just, I don't know what happened here.
This was not a pickable ball.
No,
this was in the air.
And I think he thought it was going to be picked, so he started to kind of get in position to pick it.
Yeah.
And I think his left foot slipped from under him, and it hit the tip of his glove. And then he goes to pick it up to throw the guy coming in home.
And right foot slips.
Yeah. So LSU guys slipping in this game. I don't understand it, but I think that's what happened. I think that's why he couldn't.
It's not just LSU slipping. We'll get to that here.
Well, we'll get to second. Well, at this point in the game, it's LSU guys slipping.
Yeah.
Okay, so
for sure.
So then you get a ground at the second, the very next pitch, I want to say.
Yeah, they scored 2 on what should have been that double play ball, bases loaded, with the error at first base. So it's 3-2.
So now it's a 3-2 game, and you're going into the bottom of the 8th thinking, "Fuck, we just lost the lead. We have a little bit of time left, man." And then you go Milam,
and you got Gackle on the mound, by the way.
Yeah, and you go Milam, fly out to right. Hernandez ground out to a shortstop, and you got 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. You're down to 4 outs left to win this fucking game.
Mm-hmm.
And Jared Jones comes up, and you're going, "God damn it, motherfucker, what's going on here?"
I'm going, please be stupid enough to throw 96 down the middle of the plate.
Coach, I want to know, what would Lynn Rollins say on that home run?
Pucker up! Kiss that baby goodbye!
That's about right.
Wait, hold on. What'd you say?
I think.
Pucker up! Kiss that baby goodbye!
Fucking right. Absolutely.
What happened?
Yeah.
Pucker up! Kiss that baby goodbye!
Yes, Jared Jones hits a fucking home run and pimps the shit out of it. And shout out to the home plate umpire for letting him
have
his moment. And you could see in the replay that he was kind of like, hey, but he wasn't running after Jared.
He wasn't hand on the back pushing him.
Yeah,
it was just kind of like
he was kind of
acting like a Jeff Dunham kind of.
Like a ventriloquist?
Yeah, just being like, go,
yeah.
go.
Hey, walk.
Like not moving his mouth.
Shout out to the home plate umpire for letting him just walk, man.
Absolutely.
And it was great. I love the emotion here. And then you get Pearson coming up and just pieces one to the left field. And we're going, hey, we're
in business.
We're coming back
here. Let's go.
We're coming back here.
Yeah.
And Jake Brown walks.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, runners on first and second. And Dickinson strikes out fucking swinging. So now it's a tie game going in the 9th. And we're like, man, if we can just get 3 up, 3 down here. And I texted you that.
all the momentum back.
I texted you that. You just took all the momentum back. And I texted you. I said, man, we need a 3 up, 3 down inning here. And Shores is on the bump.
Yeah. And he's looked unhittable to this
absolutely.
point.
He's doors. He's doors at this point. You had an error and that kind of, ruined it or whatever. But anyway, so Aloy's brother, Aloy,
mm-hmm.
It's kind of like Mr. Noodles.
Kahiwa?
Yeah, Mr. Noodles' brother, Mr. Noodle.
Koi? Kahiwa? Something. Aloy the second.
Younger Aloy.
Yeah,
let's go that. Younger Aloy. Rounds out shortstop. Then we get a single, and we're like, okay, all right, just a single. That's fine. Then we get a double.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, shit. Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go, right?
And I'm pretty sure we both texted each other. Here we go.
Right. Here we go. And in my opinion here, and I don't know if you feel differently, but I'm intentionally walking this guy. But then I realized that's a 9-hole.
Yeah.
Right.
But he's been on fire.
At the time, I would have walked the 9-hole to face the leadoff guy.
I would have too, just because you got an open base. It's second and third at this point. Let's get force out every single place there is. Not to mention that Thomas Jr. is 8 for 14 in the College World Series at this point. He is the hottest hitter in all of the College World Series at this point.
Correct.
And the only thing that I just highly disagree with when it comes to this, we make the pitching change.
Jacob Myers
for Jacob Myers.
Yes.
When
we go
Shores,
hold on, we go from Chase Shores throwing 100, 102 to Jacob Myers throwing 98 to 101.
Yeah. The only thing I disagree with, and we have talked about this so many times, when Chase Shores came in, you had all the announcers talking about, oh, here comes 100, here comes 101, here comes 102, get ready, fastball, rep, blah, 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 blah. And boom, 88 slider
90.
to start the.
It wasn't. I do remember that it was 90.
Okay, 90 mile an
I
hour
apologize
slider.
for being a dick, but it was 90.
90 mile an hour slider to start the at bat.
That kind of hung a little bit over the middle of the plate. If you're going to throw that first pitch, you got to get it down.
I'm talking about Chase Shores.
Oh,
88 mile an hour slider.
Okay.
In his first pitch. This is what LSU has done. Slider, fastball.
Shores?
Yes, I'm talking about Shores, and the reason I'm talking about Shores is I'm going to get to it here in just a second. Arkansas knew that Chase Shores with the heater at 100 comes in, first pitch, throws 88 slider. If I can sit here and watch the game and know LSU pitches backwards, I guarantee you Arkansas has that on the books too.
Yeah.
You bring in a Jacob Myers, who's 98 to 101, as you just said.
Yeah.
And what's first pitch again for a guy throwing 98 to 101?
90 mile an hour slider.
90 mile an hour slider.
That,
and Thomas Jr.
at the knees.
Did not miss.
At the knees.
This ball was pieced through the left side.
Yeah. First pitch.
First pitch. Exact same thing that they did with Chase Shores. This was the scouting report. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I would be willing to bet if we could have Dave Van Horn here sitting right now. I would love to ask him, hey, what'd you tell Justin Thomas Jr.?
Yeah,
because
you for sure talked to him during the pitching change.
Yeah, and I'd be willing to put $100 down saying he told him, hey, he throws 100. But just like Chase Shores did with a slider first pitch, he's coming slider first pitch, sit on it, don't miss. I'd be willing to bet that because that has been LSU's game all
just about to say that.
long. You pitch all speed heater and try to get strike three. And a lot of times it's beaten us. A lot of times it's worked.
Right.
But this has been the memo, and you just saw it an inning and a half earlier with Chase Shores.
It's essentially Tommy Kahnle.
This is why I just highly disagreed with calling a slider here. And, I highly disagreed with the 1-2 to Aloy from Chase Shores after he just painted 101 on the outside corner, and you go 1-2 slider. No, go back to that outside corner pitch.
Yeah, no.
That's the one Aloy hit for the base hit.
But so here's the thing: if you're going to throw a slider first pitch, you can't put it in the zone. You can't. I understand you need to get ahead with strike one.
Yeah, you start it there and let it slide out.
Right, exactly, or put it low.
Yeah.
Let Hernandez block this shit up. I don't know, but both runs score here. It is a 5-3 ball game, and then you get a strikeout on fucking 99.
Yeah,
right
to lead off
to
lead off guy.
Yeah, to lead off guy, and then you get Aloy, older Aloy.
Yeah,
you get him striking out looking, which on a disgusting pitch by Jacob Myers, and thank God we have him. Right, so now, so now we get to where my heart is in a fib at this point. And Pearson comes up.
John Pearson, this is.
John Pearson, that's right.
Pinch hit for Braswell.
John Pearson pinch hits for Braswell because
they went pitch and change to a lefty, the freshman Gibbler.
Yes, because if we're going to extras, he's going to play third. Right? So if we do tie this game up, we don't have to put somebody else in at third. Maybe we go Tanner Reeves, but maybe not. Maybe we just stick with John Pearson, let him play. So he strikes out swinging on 93 when I text you. I was like, why are we late on 93? Right. And it's because we're not ready for the fastball. We're thinking off speed, in which I don't know if it
was a 9-pitch at bat here.
Yeah. No. Look, it was a great at bat. It was a very quality at bat, but we're late on 93 on a 3-2 count.
Yeah. Because we know this
right down the middle.
We know that Gibbler lives with this little ghost slider is what they called it because nobody can figure out how it drops. Sometimes it slides in. Sometimes it acts like a splitter and goes straight down. Sometimes it acts like a screwball / changeup and goes away from a right-handed hitter. So it does a bunch of different things here. And he has relied on this pitch. I mean, I've watched multiple Arkansas games with this guy throwing. If he throws 100 pitches, 90 of them are this ghost slider thingy that he throws.
Yeah. Yeah, and look, turns the lineup over. We got one out, bottom 9. I was thinking, fuck, we're playing tomorrow. Like we're playing right now. We are playing right now as we speak.
It's Thursday at 5:43.
Okay, we're about to play.
Yeah.
Okay. So Curiel, infield single on a ball that should have been. I think he probably would have beat it, but it turns into a double or it turns into a single with an error because the first baseman throws it to the glove side instead of towards the base.
He would have beat it on that. Had the first baseman had Robinette just gave up on it and
All you have to do is
bailed
just
back
plant.
to first.
If he just plants and makes a good throw,
No,
it's
he's
a
safe.
close play.
He's still safe.
But it's close.
It's close, but he's still safe.
And he doesn't
if-
go to second.
If Robinette bails, he's out by a mile. Second baseman is playing shifted over.
Yeah.
He makes this play routine, throw it to first,
Yep.
2 outs.
Yep.
And this was the moment, just as well as I do, just as well as every real baseball person out, true baseball fan, true baseball player out there. It takes one mistake in the last inning, a walk, a hit by pitch, an error that we see here. And that changes the game.
100%.
All right. We have been in the situations before where we've been in, Sunday games. And I can remember one specifically out in Livingston. We're playing in a Sunday game. We're down 6-0 in a championship game. I bring my team into the last inning. Time had ran out. We were the home team. We were the higher seed. And I said, it only takes one mistake. One mistake, we're going to capitalize. We're going to win the game. First ball to the shortstop, who was the best 11-year-old player in the state at the time. Playing college ball somewhere now. Best 11-year-old player in the game. Boots it. And I grabbed my dugout and I said, there it is. We're going to win this game.
CB?
7-6.
CB?
No.
No, what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing, dude.
And we won that game 7-6. It
Exactly.
takes one mistake
That's it.
to kill that team and to fire up yours.
But this is what we've been saying all year, too. You hit the ball on the ground, make them make a play on you.
Yes.
Hit the ball on the ground, make them make a play on you. And if it gets through, you got a single. And if they make an error, you're on first.
Yeah.
Possibly second. In this case, it ended up being second because this ball goes past. In my opinion, I don't think the catcher was lined up in the right place because the catcher is backing up the pitcher, technically covering first base. But the catcher kind of overran his spot because he thinks that it's going to be an out. Like he's thinking that the pitcher's going to catch it.
He's thinking the ball's going to be led to first base, not thrown behind the pitcher. Right,
exactly. So he's overran his spot that he's supposed to be in, and all of a sudden now that ball's hitting the wall by the backstop. So Curiel, and he doesn't realize it at first. I thought he was just going to stay at fucking first.
I know. He took forever to get going.
He took forever. Second. And finally, he's like, oh, shit. And he goes to second. Well, he ends up jogging in second, and he's good. He's safe. Well, now you go Fry, and he walks.
Yeah.
Right? So now you got runners on first and second.
Great at-bat, by the way.
A hell of an at-bat.
It was a 3-1. That little ghost slider down. He check swung on it. It was very close. They never showed the side angle, but that swing was very close. And caught a ball 4.
Yes, and now we get to the play. We get to the ground ball to Wahiwa Aloy.
Yeah.
And he has this is one of the errors that they don't see because they don't see it's not on the box score, it's not on anywhere. This is a mental error.
I was about to say this goes as an ME6 here.
100%.
Mental
error on the shortstop. He feels it and immediately turns, throws it to third to get the lead guy out. When Milam is jogging to first.
Oh, bro.
And you could have easily gotten.
He wasn't even a fourth of the way to first base.
Yeah.
When Aloy had thrown this ball to third.
Could have easily gotten Fry up.
I'll be the first one to say it here. As much as I love LSU, as much as I love to win the championship, when this play happened, I texted 4 different people. What the fuck just happened?
Yes.
We are both baseball people through and through. I could not process what just happened.
Milam would have been out by 2 steps on a double play.
Yeah, I understand you want to get the lead runner, but you want to get the lead runner when that lead runner is the tying or go ahead run. He was neither.
He didn't matter. He didn't matter.
Neither.
He didn't matter. If Hernandez comes up and hits a home run, then that's it. That's baseball. It happens.
Then the game's tied, though.
Well, no, the game doesn't continue.
Yeah, the game doesn't continue.
If he goes to second base, that's a double play. The game's over.
I could not process what I had watched.
Fathom what the fuck just happened. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, And that, like I said, Victoria is even like, man, what is he doing? And I was like, baby, I'm impressed, but also I agree. I 100% agree. And then, so Milam's up now. Or I'm sorry, Milam.
Aloy is just real quick on Aloy. I can understand why he's going to be a top 15 pick in this draft, but also at the same time, when you watch him play baseball and some of these mistakes that he made, and sometimes at the plate, I mean, we watched him when they came to Baton Rouge. We've watched him multiple times here at the College World Series.
And he did not do good.
Buddy, I tell you, I feel like he presses in the biggest moments, and that's not a guy that I want on my team. I want somebody that can calm the heartbeat.
Yep.
And just get up there and be like, it's just another
Give me
at-bat.
Christian Moore.
Yeah.
Give me Christian Moore.
It's just another at-bat. Skill set wise, I can 100% see why he's a top 15 pick in this coming draft in 2 weeks. 100% can understand it. Not going to disagree with anybody. However, if I'm a team, there's no way I'm taking him in my top 15
100%.
picks. There's no shot.
No shot.
Because the mental.
Unless I'm the Pirates.
The mental. Well, no, because you just drafted Connor Griffin a couple years ago or whenever that was. Last year, maybe he's your shortstop in the future.
But I'm saying that they're fucking idiots because of how they handle things. So they
like,
would do that.
It'd be like the Rockies or the White Sox that draft him.
Understood.
But, seeing it from that standpoint and just the mental side of it, there's no way I'm taking this guy, possibly even in the first round. I'll take him second round just because the upside is obviously there.
Absolutely.
And I can DH you and
you get a first rounder for second round money. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, Milam does that.
Yeah, so Milam does that. Now you got runners on first and second still with 2 outs.
Yeah.
And again, we're both sitting here going, fuck. but then who comes up to bat? Luis Hernandez, probably one of the, I would say, hottest guys on this team, probably the top 3 hottest guys on this team, can just hit in clutch moments. Has the clutch gene.
Yeah.
And he hits a liner, a screamer at the left fielder. The left fielder turns into a baby deer being born. And legs start shaking. And, earlier in this game, there was a single that was hit up the middle. And Curiel took a couple steps in, sat back on it, let it hit, caught it, threw it in.
Right.
And Victoria said, why did he not just go dive for that? I said, because, baby, there's either 2 things that'll happen. Well, 3 things that'll happen. 1, you'll catch it. 2, you'll break your fucking nose because you'll miss it and it's going to hit straight at you. And 3, you kind of dive at it at an angle and it goes over your glove and it rolls for fucking days.
Yeah, because here's the thing about that situation with DC, right? They talked about all game long how LSU was playing so deep. So we wouldn't have had anybody get to that ball.
Right.
It probably would have turned it into
you want to leave that honestly. You want to leave it as a single.
Yeah.
Well, this left fielder just shits the bed completely and goes he came up, backed up, and then whenever he went to go forward again to go catch it, he slipped.
He just slipped.
And we talked earlier about LSU guys slipping. This motherfucker slipped.
He slipped in the keyest moment, the most routine line drive out because ball misses, crushed.
Ball misses the glove completely, hits him in the right shoulder and ricochets towards the foul line.
Dude, he's lucky he didn't take it off the dome and be like concussed right now.
100%. Be knocked out and all run score.
Brain bleed or something like that. Because I seen a guy get hit with a ball like that in the head. He had a fucking brain bleed and had to get rushed to the hospital.
Dude, I mean, and I'm seeing, but like I'm seeing Fry score. And I'm like, fuck yeah.
There's no way you're stopping the next guy.
And dude, then they showed the video of Jay. And Jay is out the dugout going, he's going, wave him. And sure enough,
Josh Jordan wasn't going to wave him in?
Yeah. No, absolutely not. He's waved in worse, I promise. So we scored 2 runs, we tie the game. I'm like, fuck yeah, we're about to go to extras because Jared Jones coming up next. And they switch pitchers. And they go to this guy, and I don't know who he is, but this poor sack of shit. I'm so sorry, but Jared Jones goes. I think he went ball 1, strike 1, and he's ball two, and now he's looking, and he gets a ball kind of at his shins.
And here's the thing about it: ball 1, strike 1, ball 2, slider. You got a base open. You don't want Jared Jones to beat you. He already beat you the inning before and tied the game with a solo homer with 2 outs. This is a guy you don't want to beat you. If the umpire strike zone as it was, at the bottom of the zone still, and you can keep framing them and maybe get the borderline pitches and you get a strikeout or him swinging, great. He was not getting a fastball here.
No.
And I think Jarrett Jones knew that on this swing when he had seen 3 straight. And here comes the 4th one.
Yep. And he goes and just, I mean, he looked like he leaned out in front, but he pieces his ball. And it goes over Aloy. Aloy jumps.
That wasn't
It wasn't Aloy? I thought they were shifted over. So it was the second baseman that was fucking
Kozel.
yeah.
Cam Kozel.
Yeah. The guy who made the dive at Jake Brown earlier in the game to kind of save it. Right. Well, dude, he jumps. And it looked Fernando Tatis-esque.
Just
like how Tatis jumped and then jumped again while he was in the air.
Yep.
That's essentially what happened. But if that ball was 3 inches lower, that ball's caught.
Yep. He jumped, in my opinion, he jumped just a smidge too early.
Yeah.
Either way it goes, he misses.
Hernandez scores.
The arms go up. Luis gets waved around, which took him forever to get to home plate, I feel like.
It's fucking Luis Hernandez. And you also texted me before that at bat, and you said, hey, we need a runner for Luis
that's
right
the
here.
winner. I don't care if I got to put Cade behind the plate the rest of the game. We got to have this run score.
Yeah, well, the run scored, and guess what? When I die, absolutely. Yes.
It just felt like the right time.
It did. Yes. Suck it all. Yes. No, but when I die, I want you to bury me in an LSU jersey.
Me too.
LSU baseball jersey. You know why? Because I might fucking come back. That's exactly why. But this was a game for the ages. And now we go and we play against Coastal Carolina, who in 2016 beat us. You always
got it for a minute.
All right.
I made the mistake and not do it before.
All right. But in 2016, they beat us in the Super Regionals at home to go advance to Omaha, and they won it all. They won the College World Series the only time they've ever been there. This is the second time of them going there, and they're in the championship game. They are on a 26-game win streak, but guess who they get? They get Cade Anderson Saturday night, and then they get Anthony Ianson Sunday night, and that is a wrap. That is it. And if we do go to a game 3, they get Kaysen, and Kaysen is doors. So, Coastal Carolina, again, thank you for coming. Here's your participation trophy. LSU in either 2 or 3, because I'm not going to call it. I can't at this point. I was talking to Jason about it earlier. It's tough. It's a tough call. I will say, can you call it?
Can I call it?
Can you say LSU in 2? Can you positively say that? Like, can you say that without making a face? Like, it's like eating a lemon at this point.
Let me see. Can I say it without making a face? Absolutely.
Can you say LSU in 2 without making like winking or like without having
I got the number 1 overall pick going in game 1. I got another first rounder going in game 2. And I got in 2 years the number 1 overall pick going in game 3.
You think Kaysen's going number 1 overall?
Have you watched that motherfucker pitch? If he was
I have.
eligible, he'd get picked in the top 10 right now.
I have. Tony V's son. Tony V's child. Absolutely. For those of you who know who Kaysen Evans, we need to put, and look, I don't like going at the mamas here. Okay, but we do need to put his mom and Tony V in the same spot about 18 years ago. just to see. I would love an ancestry.com on Kaysen Evans. I would love it because I would love to see. Dude, he looks just fucking like him.
I mean, look, here's the thing. Here's what plays for LSU. They started the College World Series 2-0. They're now 3-0. But you're now 0-0 going to championship, right? In the last 6 of the last 7 that LSU has started the College World Series 2-0, they won it.
We did lose a game.
6 of the last 7.
in 2023.
We did.
Yep. Had to play Tennessee twice. Had to play Wake Forest twice. And also had to, well,
Beat
I
Florida
guess you
twice.
don't, yeah. Well, yeah, we had to beat Florida
After
twice.
we got
but
fucking destroyed
we
by
got
Florida,
skull dragged in game
and
2.
then we
Skull
skull drugged them.
That's it.
Here
Brian St. Germain is there. Buy him a shot at Rocco's. Please, everyone and their mama do it.
Yeah. Here's the funny thing about it, dude. They're according to Mike Scarborough on X, he says, and Steve Caparota, Caparota, I don't know how to fucking say his
that's
name, on WFB, according to sportsbetting.ag, only some amount of states, I'm going to have you guess it if you haven't seen this already, are pulling for LSU in the College World Series. This is based on a sampling of tweets.
3.
Yeah, so you have seen this?
Nebraska, Arizona, and Louisiana
Yeah.
are the only 3 states that are pulling for LSU to win this all, which
This is based off a sampling of tweets.
which is 100% horseshit, I believe.
Well,
I don't think it's real.
even though, and this is what he says, even though Coastal has previously won a title, they may see this as a David versus Goliath matchup. In addition to Louisiana, Arizona, Jay Johnson's last stop, and Nebraska, North Baton Rouge are rooting for the Tigers.
Let me tell you right now, Kansas doesn't have internet. Okay, so Kansas doesn't have Twitter. All right, I got a buddy that lives there. Don't fucking come at me. All right, Florida. I know people in Florida right now that are all SEC. I understand they have a rivalry with LSU. They might not want them to win at all, but I promise you, they don't like Coastal. Okay. Alabama probably wants Coastal to win. Mississippi, they talk a lot of shit too. Fucking, they probably want Coastal to win.
California wants Coastal to win because we put them boys out.
Yeah, but California got other shit going on. They're not even watching baseball, so fuck it, they don't care. But let me just run some bet numbers at you. Okay, game one. I haven't looked at game 2 because I don't think numbers are out on that yet. But game 1, money line, LSU minus 175. Money line Coastal plus 125. So close. All right, very close. The total for total runs, 8.5. Okay. Spread, LSU minus 1.5. Are we taking any of those?
No.
You are not.
I'm not betting in these games. Speaking of betting, Coach, what did I tell you my bet was going to start being?
Yeah, and Colorado apparently is on a fucking heater.
They were on a 3-game win streak. They lost today, and of course I bet it for the 3 games that they won,
And didn't bet it today.
and I didn't bet it today. So
That's about right.
It's about right.
So that just goes to show, don't do that bet.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what we're going to get this weekend. You're going to get Cade in game 1. You're going to get Ant in game 2. You're going to get Case in game 3 if necessary.
And good fucking luck.
Here's
turn
where we're
left
at,
now.
Here's where we're at, though. Okay.
By
the numbers.
601, by the way.
Yeah. By the numbers. Cade Anderson, 11-1, 3.44 ERA. Strikeout per 9 is 13.9.
Okay.
Really good numbers. Here's their game 1 guy, Cameron Flukie, 7-1, 3.29 ERA, 10.3 Ks per 9.
Okay.
Solid.
Yep.
All right, let's go game 2. Anthony Heinsohn on the mound, 11-2 on the year, 2.92 ERA, strikeouts per 9, sitting at a 12.7.
Which
keep
is
in mind,
insane.
Let's keep in mind that these are number 1 and number 3 in the whole country.
Fuck it.
All right. These are number 1 and number 3 in the whole country for strikeouts.
Okay.
Leaders. Cade's number 1.
Yeah.
Liam Doyle's number 2.
Okay.
Ant's number 3.
That makes sense.
Here's what we got in game 2. Jacob Morrison, who we talked about a little bit.
Okay.
If Oregon State was to win their first game and Coastal won their first game, they'd see this guy. It wouldn't be an easy walk for Oregon State, is what we kind of talked about here. And sure enough, it wasn't. Coastal won that game. Jacob Morrison, 12-0 with a 2.08 ERA. Only 8.8 strikeouts per 9 innings, so he's averaging just shy of 1 per 9. But Jacob Morrison is – dude, I'll tell you what, this is not going to be a team to play with. You cannot look at this team on a 26-game game win streak. These boys are hot. They are arguably the best or second best team in the country behind the win streak that they're on right now. They are rolling, and they are not scared of anyone that suits up next to them on the other side of the field.
Correct.
And then if you go to game 3, you got Case and Evans, 5-1, 2.05 ERA, 12.1 strikeouts per 9 versus Riley Eckhoff.
Sure.
Something. 7-2 with a 3.10 ERA, 7.1 strikeouts per 9. So we're going to have absolute pitching stars on the mound. And I can guarantee you in the stands, if you're there, if we get a chance to see it on the screen at home, look for the guys with a notepad in their hand. The guys with a notepad in their hand are scouts, and I guarantee you there will be 30 of them out there watching these games because you have MLB prospects heavy on LSU side, as we know.
Yeah.
And with the way these guys are playing, they have obviously garnered the attention of everyone, which is something that should have been from day one. What'd they start the year off? Preseason number 13, number 14,
It was something like that.
15
I can't
or
remember.
16, somewhere in the teens, they were there.
Yeah.
And, a team that fell out, came back in, has been in ever since. This is a team that is good. This is a team that has a very rich history. I heard you talk about it as soon as I got up just a while ago, especially in 2016, where they beat LSU to get to the World Series, where they beat Jay Johnson in Arizona at the time. So
Yeah. This is a revenge game for LSU, and look,
this is not a Cinderella story that we're playing.
In my opinion, okay, I think there's only 2 impressive wins on their entire schedule as I'm looking at it. And they're both in the Super against Auburn.
What, did they beat Oregon State, who you had winning that bracket?
Yeah, well, fuck Oregon State at this point because they were my dark horse to win it, and they have 2 impressive wins.
No, they got a lot more than that.
Okay. I don't know. I just think that I don't
mean, look,
necessarily
you're coming from the Southern Conference where you're not playing the best of – you're playing Nichols and Southeastern all the time.
correct.
And Lamar,
You name it, yeah.
Northwestern.
Yep.
Like, I get it. The in-conference schedule is very weak. But that doesn't take away of who they've beaten to get here, which includes Auburn, which includes Oregon State, 2 national seeds on the road.
Yep.
To get to this point. You've still run off 26 straight. I don't care if you're playing the Helen Kellers of the world. You run off 26 straight in anything that you do.
26 straight is very impressive. And convincingly too. Like it wasn't like it was close ball games.
No, these dudes are putting up like 11 runs a game.
Yeah,
I mean,
they beat Louisville 11-3.
Yeah, they're beating everyone.
They put up 6 in the first.
Yeah.
So game 2, look for Ant to kind of have a blow up inning in the first. Because he just seems to do that.
No, I think he'll give up 1 in the first. Jay's going to go talk to him, and we're going to see a fucking Ty Floyd like performance from there on out.
But if he goes, what was it? 16? I think it was 6. Was it 17
for
Ty?
Ty? 17.
Yeah, for Ty Floyd.
Yeah.
And he didn't even go complete game.
He did not. He went to the 7th, I think.
Yeah.
Or 8th.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
Could you imagine complete game?
Well, he's not going to go complete game.
But I'm just saying it'd be 21-22.
Yeah.
This is look, a lot of people see it as David versus Goliath, and they are David. I don't see it like that.
I don't either.
I see it as Goliath versus Eliath.
This is not Murray State versus LSU.
No.
In the championship of Omaha.
No, that would have been sick.
This is a team that has a very rich history of baseball.
Yeah.
So rich.
First year head coach.
I am 31 years old, and I can remember growing up wanting to play for Coastal Carolina.
Unis are sick.
Unis are sick. But, I mean, dude, just take everybody. Kevin Sutherland at Florida. I love Kevin Sutherland. Or O'Sullivan. Tim Corbin at Vandy. Love Tim Corbin. He's been there. Both of those coaches have been there for forever.
Dave Van Horn,
Okay.
great great coach, has probably the best program in the country, and we just beat him. So,
but if you ask me as a kid growing up, what college team
we
did
didn't
I
even
want to?
mention Tony V.
Well, he's only there since 19, so I'm not mentioning. I'm talking about me as a kid.
And
the coaches that's been there
Got
for a tenure.
Understood.
There was only 3 that I dreamt of playing of. Obviously, I'd love to play D1 baseball anywhere, and I did at Nichols for
Augie Garrido.
Short,
You
yeah,
okay.
with Texas, a
yeah.
short period of time before I tore my meniscus. But it was, well, I don't know. Sure, I'd love to play at Texas if they gave me the offer. And
if Augie Garrido came to you and was like, "Hey, bud." Oh yeah, no. Now it's 100%.
No, it was always down for me.
If Augie would have came up to you though and be like, "Hey, we really want you,"
yeah, I'd go play with the history that they had. Absolutely,
100%.
But what I'm saying is, as a kid, this is not a team that's come out of nowhere. This is a team that's been around for 30 years,
and
constantly making the playoff, constantly in supers, constantly in regionals, constantly vying for a spot in the College World Series final. Like Coastal, LSU, Cal State, Fulton. Obviously, Cal State is not that level that they used to be anymore. But point being, this is not a new team. And for people that are 50 years old walking up to me saying, well, have you ever heard of them? I'm like, dude, what are you talking about?
I don't understand.
These guys have been around.
But you got a first-year head coach for Coastal.
That I love, by the way.
But he was an assistant at Coastal for like 20-something years. And they interviewed the former Coastal head coach that has retired now. He was in Omaha and
after 24 years,
just sitting in the stands. I thought it was 29. So
maybe it was.
Well, so 29 for the head coach that retired that was in the stands, with 24 for the assistant.
Yeah,
that's what it was. He actually left and went to UCF, I believe, for a little bit of time. And then he came back because he was like, no, there's no place like home. He clicked his heels 3 times and called it a day. But this is
Kevin Schnall.
Yes. And he was very adamant in all his press conferences, whether it be post game or pre-game or fucking a video game, whatever it was. He was adamant. He even said in one interview, he said the correct pronunciation for their mascot. Like their
Chanticleers.
Yes. And he was like, it is Chanticleers. Get it right.
Yeah, not like, Chanticleers, Chanticleers.
Dude, he was adamant, dude.
Like 6 or 7
This dude
times,
loves Coastal Carolina, but guess what? You have Jay Johnson and a group of guys that love being at LSU, that love being in the state of Louisiana. And guess what? Omaha? Go Omaha, bud. We're about to win this whole fucking thing in 2 games. I can confidently say that now, after some deliberation with myself. But if it goes 3, we still win it. Kaysen gets the dub. I think if anybody loses a game, it's Ant. I don't think Cade loses. I don't think we lose game 1. Although we could.
Oh, absolutely.
This one's a tough. It's such a tough one to call. Such a tough series to call. And you probably need to get out of here.
No, we're good.
What do you mean?
I'm just kind of reading right now because Kendall Rogers,
I'm so glad you can fucking read.
Who's over D1 baseball, put out an hour ago. The news for today isn't done yet. So if you don't know what that means, Duke baseball has hired Wake Forest pitching coach Corey Muscara as their next head coach.
He's pulling a fucking sloss.
Which means Josh Jordan, third base coach, waiver of LSU baseball, is staying in Baton Rouge, and that's such a huge UGE.
Nate Eske's going to Duke.
Stay here.
Or going to Wake Forest.
No, I don't think Nate's going to leave.
I think we lose 2 pitching coaches in 3 years.
Nate. The Vanderbilt. Vandy is expected to hire former standout player Jason Esposito as their new hitting coach.
No shit.
Yep. He has spent the last 3 seasons as an assistant hitting coach.
I want to know what Blake Gaines doing. I know you know what Blake Gaines doing.
I know exactly what Blake's team doing. He's in my field of business. I know exactly what he's doing. Vandy Boys hiring former player Jason Esposito, who spent the last 3 years as the assistant hitting coach for the Cleveland Guardians. So good for him.
There's another major league guy coming. I mean, Yeski came from the Twins.
And
Right?
Murray State, Coach Murray State.
Yes, I
Their
did
head
see
coach
this.
is re-signing on a new 4-year deal. After he was a finalist for Duke, he turned that down to re-sign.
Okay, so I
Murray
did not
State.
see that then because I saw that he was going to Duke.
Nope, he re-signed with Murray State.
Oh,
but yes,
my
now
goodness.
I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, that's fine.
But
That's
I think
fine.
that's kind of all the news for today. Did we have anything else on the notes that we had to cover, or was Josh Jordan the last thing?
I didn't even look at the notes to be honest with you.
Zach Cohen being unbelievable, mental errors costing the Arkansas, Josh Jordan staying in BR. Yep. We're good. Look, here's the thing, and then I'll let you close this out. Here's the thing about Coastal. This is not a team that you walk over. This is not a team that you don't know about. This is not a Cinderella story. These boys can play. They've been playing it all year. They started in the top 25, we'll say, and they've been doing it all year long. You go to Auburn, who's a national seed, beat them. You get through Louisville first, and then Oregon State second, and then Louisville again with ease, by the way. You're on full rest. You got your 3 starters and your entire bullpen going against LSU, who will also be on full rest with their 3 guys in the entire bullpen. 2 offenses that are peaking at the right time, 2 pitching staffs that are peaking at the right time. This is going to be extremely fun. And do not be shocked. I'll tell Coastal that. I'll tell LSU that. Do not be shocked regardless of outcome. Obviously, as 2 LSU fans, we want to be in here Monday night with our special guest saying Tigers just won national championship instead of watching it while we have our special guest on. But either way it goes, we want to be sitting here saying Tigers are in national championship. But if it is forced to game 3, don't be shocked by it.
If it is forced to game 3,
I'm done, and you can
we come in
do
here
this and close it.
We come in here Monday, right? And come in here Monday, record the episode. Okay. And, we'll watch. Right? No matter what, though, win or lose. If there is a game 3 and we win or lose, I think we come in here Tuesday as well.
I'm done.
You are? Okay.
Absolutely.
Just making sure. But look, I have one closing statement to make.
Pucker up! Kiss that baby goodbye! Pucker up! Kiss that baby goodbye! Pucker up! Kiss that baby goodbye! Pucker up! Kiss that baby goodbye!
I don't know where this is going.
Kiss that baby goodbye, because that's how many home runs LSU is going to hit game 1, 2, and there is no game 3. LSU in 2. This is how it's going to happen. Bet it. Don't bet it. I don't give a shit because Jason's not betting it. I will not bet it because, money, right? So, but if you want to pay for our bets, you're more than welcome to. Anyway, this has been Diamond Deck Discussions Unfiltered, and we cannot wait for this series. We hope you can't wait either. Let us know in the comment section of YouTube of whatever. What you got?
Just keep going.
Okay. Just let us know your thoughts in the Facebook post, in the Twitter post, in the Instagram post. Just we want to know who you're rooting for, because we want to know if that map is fucking true. We really do. But we appreciate everybody tuning in. Thank y'all so much. This has been a great episode of Diamond Deck Discussions Unfiltered. And if you don't like LSU, please do, and do it with aggression. Bye, guys.